How has the way Sahara died reframed how you live your own life?
It reframed how I live my own life because I am now aware. And I think we have to know what's going on and name what's going on before we can act to it. So even though my daughter was in that situation for 18 years, I was maybe ignorant to what's going on, maybe didn't really know how to address it, I was caught somewhere between trying to protect her privacy and helping her get out. So at the time, my focus was just her, this one individual that was my daughter. But now I'm realizing it can be that way. And another challenge is that we whatever she told me, I wouldn't tell anybody. There are a lot of things that her siblings didn't know, my siblings didn't know, the extended family didn't know, because it was somehow shrouded in shame and silence. So once she was gone, I realized that there is really no superhero coming to save us. It has to be ourselves. And I thought the reason I have this walk is to show that, to raise funds, but more than that, for us to use our own steps to shatter that shame and silence where perpetrators of violence thrive on. Because women might put the makeup, might not tell anybody, might just kind of feel like, what did I do wrong? So I think we need to, as a community, use our own steps, that physical step to take to say we're not going to be silent anymore.
What's your vision for the walk? Is it to empower people who are walking? Is it to allow the rest of the community not to turn their back on what's going on? What's sort of your goal?
The goal I see is to get as many people from the city walking. So not only those that are living, surviving, trying to get out of violence, to know that we're with them, but for all of us to have this open the discussion, open the situation, so we're not silently whispering and making it look like, why didn't she just leave? Why didn't she call the police? Why didn't she tell this? So to start discussion and physically use our own movement.
Do you get asked those questions still?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I ask those questions, like, even as I'm talking about what happened to my daughter, I ask, why didn't she leave? Why didn't you support her to get out? If she had married somebody from the same background, this would not have happened. So I hear all those kind of things because somebody else went out of her community, went to another country instead of being with somebody who's here in Canada, and that's why it happened.
Because she's Somalian.
Yes, she's Somalian, or maybe she's Canadian. Maybe if there was, another Canadian person she married, they would not have been as violent. So it's all those kind of things that we use to minimize, not because we're being bad people, but it's hard to look at terrible situation like this.
It re-victimizes her too,
yes.
and it piles on the guilt that you've already put on yourself.
Exactly.
Unrightfully.
Exactly, yeah. So it gives the perpetrators more weapon, more room to be bold in their acts.
You're also raising money during the walk. Where's that money going to go?
That money, every dollar raised, is going to go to a local shelter called Nissa Homes. They have 12 beds. They help most vulnerable in our community. And as we all know, the shelters, whether it's housing youth, whether it's housing people leaving violence, the shelters are always 120, 130 over capacity. And I think, and those women leaving this situation often have children with them. So it's not only one person in the situation. So I'm raising every dollar raised for this walk. It's not going to leave the community. It's going to go to Nissa Homes to support women trying to get themselves out of that situation.
How much of this new effort, the idea of having a walk, is going to meet that need inside you for change?
Because I'm hoping to have people in my own community to come with me so we can realize our own power. Because for so long, I waited for somebody, the police, the doctors, somebody to do something. And after losing my daughter, I'm coming to terms with the idea that we should have the power within ourselves. And I want everybody who can do it to walk with me that day, whether you raise $5 or $500, it doesn't matter. So you just come out with us and walk with us so we can support each other.
And how are you doing? I mean, I know we're awaiting trial, and that's a big, heavy question. I get it. But we're waiting for trial. The latest we know is that the trial will go forward at an unset date.
Yeah, so the date for the trial would be scheduled on September 27th, would be a day where we have another court date where we could have the dates hopefully come through.
You're very popular.
The date actually come through, and we will be able to know the dates. But I think I am taking it one day at a time. And I'm always surprised the way my grief works. Because if you asked me beforehand, I would have said, a mother who lost a child would be one who's wailing, crying. But it's not like that. I get this cold air coursing like inside my blood, and I just get that shivering. I don't think I have cried. And when the preliminary hearing was done and the judge decided we're going to move forward with the trial, that's when I started crying. I've never cried. I haven't cried when we was missing, when she was found, or that. I started crying when the judge says, okay, we have enough to move forward with the trial. So
do you know why that is?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a podcast episode about that, thinking, why is it like my process of grieving is nothing like social expectations that people have for a parent to grieve, including myself. I remember a long time ago visiting a mother who had a 21-year-old who died from cardiac issue. And I'm thinking, how is this woman standing and greeting people? So I don't know. But I'm so mystified sometimes with myself and how the grief works.
I'm really grateful that you have brought me on this journey. You and I were friends before this happened to you. And just being on this journey with you and really has brought the veil down in my own eyes to just see and be open to how everyone experiences this, okay? Thank you so much. We have to go. Fartumo Kusow, The Walk to End Silence is on October 5th from 10 to 3 p.m.